This week, former governors and education experts spoke in Washington about the importance of Common Core education. Oklahoma is one of 45 states to sign on for the new curriculum meant to promote critical thinking through established educational standards. Testing is a key part of the Common Core state standard, but State Superintendent Janet Barisi has called for Oklahoma to craft its own exam for the end of the 2014-2015 school year. In this excerpt from Oklahoma Forum, we see that while many educators are in favor of Common Core state standards, opponents consider it detrimental to children's education and local school control. Is the rigor less under Common Core than it is under the existing standards in Oklahoma?
No, that's not true. The Fordham Institute is the authority on state standards, and with NAEP we consistently rank as a C. Our math standards particularly are low when it comes to the way Fordham has graded our standards. And so with Oklahoma adopting Common Core state standards, we're allowing our students to go deeper into subject matter and allowing them to truly be college ready and be ready for career, because for so long we really haven't been being honest with parents so that they don't really know exactly how their students are doing. And there are many families, including military families, that move in and out of Oklahoma. We have really 4 huge bases of military families here that have to move often, and they need the peace of mind knowing if they're going to go serve their country, that their child's going to be learning the same standard, whether they live in Oklahoma City, Altus, Enid, or if they have to move to Minnesota or Oregon, places where we know that with 45 states adopting the Common Core, the child is going to get the same education regardless of zip code.
Everett Piper, would you like to see standards adopted in Oklahoma that are specific to Oklahoma, or does it need to be done really on a local basis, district by district?
Why would I want to dumb down my curriculum at Oklahoma Wesleyan University to a level of commonality? That makes no sense to me. I want excellent education. For example, we have no Common Core expectations at Oklahoma Wesleyan University, but yet we're recognized by CBS News Money Watch and RateMyProfessor.com as having the best faculty in the nation, superior to all the Ivy League schools. Now, do we get there by imposing a commonality of ideas upon our faculty? No. We get there by assuming that good education, right education, the best education is liberal education that frees the faculty member to teach and encourages the student to learn and does not impose or dumb down the ideas to some common standard that is accepted by the popular or the powerful people that are in charge of those ideas.
And Kane, does Common Core limit what can be done in the classroom?
I totally am against what he just said, and in all due respect to him, but that instead it enhances what we're already doing. It raises the bar. It causes students to think. It's not just a straight, when we talk about those standardized tests that she referred to on NAEP, Oklahoma is one of the lowest performing states on NAEP. We always get that score in the Daily Oklahoman, and it shows us where Oklahoma students stand on the NAEP scores compared to other states. Instead of saying, here's an example. When students take those tests right now, we were all taught growing up, okay, when you do the multiple choice, you know 2 of them are going to be just flukes, right? So you erase those, and then you have 2 to choose from. You don't really have to think. The tests that we're taking now turn into a guessing game. Or let's match the dots, right? Let's create patterns. You probably never did that. Created dots, patterns with your dots on your standardized test, but some students do. When you have Common Core, it's causing students to be better critical thinkers, and so when they get to the test, they have to analyze. They can't just sit there and pick the correct answer. There might be multiple answers that are correct, and they're going to have to defend themselves, which is a basic life skill. Can I just respond to what he said, too, about local control and letting everyone decide? I think we would have a total mess in the U.S. in public education if we just left it up to, now we're talking about standards. We're not talking about how we're going to teach those standards. That should definitely be local control. But if every school district across the nation could pick what we're going to teach, you're going to have chaos.
It appears in looking at the standards that the approach is to teach understanding or methods of reaching understanding and problem solving. Is that correct?
Well, I have read a number of the standards myself, and I think the thing that I'm most concerned about in that particular situation is that there has been a trend in education for some time, decades, to kill and drill has suddenly become a bad name. Well, as a science teacher for years, if you don't memorize certain things, you cannot possibly critically think about them. So if I asked, and I taught the periodic table of elements for numbers of years, well, if they don't understand and they haven't memorized how the table works, you can't think critically about that. And I think that's the major concern that I have. I've looked at a number of things, and there's a lot of discussion, but there's not a lot of memorization. And really, in all honesty, the idea of critically thinking is wonderful, but you have to have a foundation upon which to critically think. You can't just critically think air.
You can watch the rest of this Oklahoma Forum program on Common Core state standards throughout the week on the OETA Okla channel and on our website, oeta.tv.